start the class. Yeah, guys. So what we discussed in the yesterday's class, guys?
IAM, Identity Access Manager.
IAM, right? So you got the list of instances. Or you can get the list of instances. You can get the list of instances, whatever the instances in there. So it will get the list of instances with respect of if it is a stopped state or if it is it is in running or it is in stopped state, right? You guys understood? Hello,
Yes,
Yuta.
yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah, right.
yes.
So
Yes,
today
yes.
what we will discuss, we'll discuss today how to launch the EC2 instance through AWS CLI, and we'll start the Terraform also. Okay.
Okay.
So list of all instances. Now you understood, right? So, so create a EC2 instance through AWS CLI from command prompt. Yeah. So what we need, guys, what we need for to create a EC2 instance. So how to connect the EC2 instance, guys? Yeah,
Yes, we need to compute.
yeah. We need a how you can connect via putty. We need a key, right?
Yes, yes.
One second, someone is joining. Joining on. Yeah. So list of all EC2 instances, right? So list. One second. Yes, one second. Yeah, Rajni joined, right? Yeah, Rajni, what we discussed in yesterday, something like AWS CLI. So how to install the AWS CLI, mm, how to connect the cloud through AWS CLI. Understood, right? Rajni, are you able to hear? Rajnikant, Talaiva.
Yeah, I'm able to hear.
Mhm. So we can connect the cloud in two ways. One is a GUI AWS console. and the other one is AWS CLI. Now you understood, right? So we can connect the AWS cloud in any cloud in two ways. One is console way, other one is AWS CLI. So the
Yeah,
console
one more.
way is nothing but a so AWS dot console, right? AWS dot Amazon.com console. You're providing your root username, email address, and password, right? Understood?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, what is this? Yeah, how you can connect the AWS console? This is the AWS console, right? Rajani. This is the AWS
Yeah.
console. How you can connect the sign-in console? Sign into the console. Yeah. So so console also we can connect in two ways. One is IAM and the IAM user, and the other one is root user account. This root user account is only for when we took the account in AWS. So they will create the root account and they will give it to you. So company will not give this root account to everyone. So they will create the IAM users and they will give it to the people as a developers or a DevOps engineers or a QA engineers, whatever it may be, cloud engineers or a Linux engineers. They will create the IAM account and they will give it to the users. They will not give it to the root account. Root account having all the permission, same like as a Linux machine in the root user. So root is the super user, right? A root having all the permissions. Okay. And AWS provided only one account, that company, that only one account for the root user. So, and they will keep it in the company. They will not provide to anyone because of, so root user having all the accesses. Okay. You already know the root user, right? How to connect the root user. Bluejay, bluejaytech29 gmail.com. This is the Gmail and the password. The password is this the password. I enabled the MFA multi-factor authentication. Enabled the multi-factor authentication in this account. You can watch the previous recording. You will understand how to enable the MFA. Okay. Yeah. So in my phone, I installed the Google Authenticator app and I link it to this AWS account. So whenever we open the AWS account, it will asking the username, password as well as MFA code. So that authenticator will generate the codes in every 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and you will provide that code. You will provide that code here, and it will connect. So this is nothing but a two-way authenticator. You will provide the authenticate if you want to authenticate your AWS account. So first you need to provide the AWS, then you will need to provide the a key code. Okay, from the authenticator generator. Yes, this is the console way. So now you understand the how to connect the console, how to launch the EC2 instances, whatever the end services. So we launch it. But I want to launch the services via console way. Via console way. How we can connect? So we can connect via console way. AWS CLA. Amazon provides the AWS CLA. And how to connect the AWS CLA? How to connect from the AWS CLA. So we can connect from the AWS CLA through GUI console as a email and password, and how to connect the AWS CLA. AWS CLA means how you can connect with the AWS CLA. We can connect with the AWS 3LA through secret key and access key. So through secret key access key, how we can create that secret key and access key? In the IAM account, you can create the user. In the user, we have a programmatic access. The user, we have a programmatic access. Yeah. So AWS command line, usually the script provides you with the flexibility to manage multiple AWS resources infrastructure effectively. For example, we can use the script to deploy multiple resources without need to go through the complete configuration wizard each time. So prerequisites to use the AWS CLA, create an AWS account. Yeah, we have already installed the AWS CLA. AWS CLA is available for Windows, Mac, and Linux distributions for OS. So how to install AWS CLI on Windows? So something like you can go to this. This is the URL, guys. Okay, this is the URL. You can search it AWS CLI install. Yeah, yeah. Installing or updating the latest version of AWS CLI. How you can install the AWS CLI? Yeah. So AWS CLI instant or update instructions. We can install either Linux or Mac or Windows. This is the way. If you want to install in Windows, you can use this commands to install the. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So for Windows, use this AWS CLI.msa for the download and install. You can run this command to install the MSA installer. This is the way. And check the version AWS CLI. Then your AWS CLI version is installed. Create an IAM user with programmatic access. For this, need to learn what is IAM. Yesterday we discussed about the IAM and how to create the access key and secret keys. Yes. So how you can create the roles, users, groups. We discussed yesterday and policies. You can watch that recording. Okay. Yeah. So after completion of how to configure the AWS, we need to connect the AWS cloud, right? So this is the way we can connect the AWS configure. AWS configure, then you will provide the that secret key and access key. It will ask the which region you want to connect. It will asking the region. Then it will ask the format, JSON format, how we can connect with the AWS. So JSON format. Okay. So then I'll list out all the EC2 instances. How you can list out the all the EC2 instance? You just AWS EC2 describe. It will shows the so it will show only the JSON format. I don't want to the JSON format. I want just a table. What are the instances are running in this? So here you see AWS underscore. Yeah, go to the command prompt. Yeah, AWS EC2 describe instances. You see, it is showing in the JSON format. I don't want the JSON format. Just I want how to, just I want to show the only instances. Here, describe instances, query, reservations, instances, instance ID, state name, output table. It will display only the instances. So whatever it may be, if it is in running state or if it is in shutdown state. Yesterday we executed this command, right? Yep, guys, this is the command. Okay, you see? So it will display only the instances. In the text output text, only it will display the instances. Now you understood? So this is the list of instances. Yes. What is the command, guys? I want to save this command. Okay. Okay. This is the command. What this command? Okay. So now we understood list of EC2 instances. So what is the class for today? So today's class is creating a EC2 instance through AWS CLI through command prompt. Windows command prompt. Windows command prompt. So now you understood how to launch, how to see the what are the instances. Instances are instances are the list of instances. It will display list out all the EC2 instances. So it will display only instance. One instance is running. So that instance is in the region is US East, North Virginia. Okay, so today, so we are creating a EC2 instance through AWS CLI in Windows, and so if you want to connect the Windows, if you want to connect that Linux machine, right? What we need? We need a key pair. So how to create a create a new key pair? Create a new key pair for EC2 EC2 instances. How to create the new key pair for the EC2 instances. So how to create, guys? So before launching a new EC2 instance, we will need an SSH key pair that we will use to connect to the EC2 instances, right? So what is that? So before launching a new EC2 instance, so we will need an SSH key pair, SSH key pair that will use to connect it will use to connect the EC2 instance, right? That will connect the EC2 instance. So so what is the command, guys? The command is something like, so what is the command, guys? The command is AWS EC2 create key pair, key hyphen pair, hyphen key name, key hyphen name, hyphen key name, BlueJ Tech. So BlueJ Tech key hyphen output text. So what is that? BlueJ Tech key dot m. So this is the so how to create the key pair? So you can create the key pair by using this command. What is this command? AWS EC2 AWS space EC2 space create a hyphen key hyphen pair hyphen key name BlueJTech key hyphen output text BlueJTech text dot pem. So let's see how to create the key pair. This is the way we can create the key pair. Yeah. So DAR. Yeah. So this is the BlueJTech key dot pem. We created the key pair. Okay. The next, the mo command will create a new key pair in AWS named as this, and pipe the secret directly the location we specify. In this case, so something like the name is bluejettech.pem key, right? So then launch. So what is that? So launch new EC2 instance, create or launch new EC2 instance through AWS CLI. So right, AWS CLI, how you can launch, how you can launch the AWS CLI. Yeah. So what is the command? AWS. The command AWS EC2 run hyphen instances, run hyphen instances hyphen image hyphen ID. So you will take the AMI. So you will take the AMI, any one of the AMI for the EC2 instance. So for example, EC2. So where you are in the North Virginia region, right? Where you can check it. Check the AWS credentials. So what is that? This is the check AWS credentials command. This is the command to check the AWS credentials. Let's see the credentials. In which region you are in. So this is the credentials, guys. So this is the your user ID account. This is the account, and this is the ARN. ARN. So and
Tariq, here, what is the meaning of the STS? Is it
what is the meaning of
STS? AWS
this?
STS.
Uh,
Yes.
so here you see. So make sure your
Very good.
credentials are set up and you have a necessary permissions. Okay. So AWS region. In which region you want to get it? This is the guys. So check your AWS region. Check your AWS region. So in which region you set up. So this is the command AWS configure get region. Okay. Yeah. So US East one. Okay, understood. So what I am trying to get this where we are in the US East one. So we will take the AMI ID for the so launch instances. Yeah, I need a Amazon to Linux. This is the Amazon to. They need a 64-bit AMI, guys. What the IM AMID? So this is the AMI. What this is? This is a instances image ID. This is the image ID and hyphen instance type T2 micro hyphen key name. What is the key name, guys? The key name is bluejtech.key.pem. Right? Bluejtech.key.pem. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So AWS EC2 instance, run instances, image ID, you're providing instance type T2 micro key name. So what is this? So instance type under AMI is mandatory to launch the EC2 instance through AWS ELA. The same way, so the mandatory for Terraform also. While doing the Terraform, I will tell you. Okay. Sorry, it's key hyphen name. What is this? Hyphen key hyphen name. Okay. Another occurred invalid key pair not found when calling the run instance operation. BlueJet key.pem does not exist. It's created, right? Bluechit key.pem. Infinite from key created and create the EC2 instance, AWS underscore EC2 run EC2 instance, image ID, instance type, key2 micro, key name, error occurred. This key is not available, huh? Or else we'll take the whatever batch 54 key we created, right? Let's see, let's take that key. Yeah, sorry guys.
అది
Yeah.
రన్ చేయండి బ్రో. అది హౌ మెనీ కీబోర్డ్స్ ఎగ్జిస్ట్ అని ఉంది కదా, అక్కడ ఆ కమాండ్
Sure.
రన్ చేయండి,
No
ఎన్ని
need dot
కీస్
pem,
ఉన్నాయో
no need
చూపిస్తుంది.
dot pem, no need dot pem. Actually, I forgot this one. Okay.
కీ.
Yeah, see, it's created. It's created. Now let's check it. How many instances are running, right? This is the way, right? You see? So before it is only one, now it's created another one, right? So before it is only one, now it's created another one. So let's see in the console. What is this? EC2 instances. The command, guys. Again, we'll no need this command. Okay. Yeah, you see, guys, just created the AWS EC2 instances. So what are the mandatory field we provided? We provided the mandatory field is AM and instance type. AM and instance type. So you see, guys, the initializing, it is initializing. You see, what is the key pair it created? BlueJTech key. Guys, so BlueJTech key. Understood? Yeah. So what is this? This is
వేర్ ఇట్ షోన్ కీ పేర్ నేమ్ బ్రో, షో దట్ కీ పేర్ నేమ్.
you
అచ్చా,
see.
ఓకే, దేర్ ఓన్లీ కీ నేమ్. ఓకే, రైట్.
Understood?
ఎస్ ఎస్.
Yeah. Then I don't want these instances. I want to stop the instances. Stop and start and EC2 instances. Now you can stop and start the EC2 instances, guys. You can stop and start the EC2 instances by using the command AWS EC2 stop hyphen instances hyphen instance hyphen IDs instance underscore ID. Okay, these are the commands. Stop or start and start again. I want to start again, guys. How you can start? So, for example, to stop instances, right? Here, the example is so example. Sorry, we can copy the same command and provide the instance ID. Provide the instance ID. Right, I already stopped the instance. Yeah. What this command? The example is Here, stop the instance ID. What is the instance ID, guys? For example, this is the instance ID. So this is the instance ID. Or you can stop it. You can stop at this instance and start it. Or you can start it the same like start instances. Right, guys? Yeah. I want to stop and start. Just seeing the stop and start. Stop the instances. Yeah. Let's see output. Yeah. So whatever it may be, guys, the instances list it will be display. Let's see what is running, what is stopping. Yes, you see. So this is stopping. I want to terminate the instance. How you can terminate the instances, guys? I want to terminate the instances. So terminate an instances. How you can terminate an instances. How you can terminate the instances, guys? The same AWS EC2 terminate instances. The same command you can use, but here start stop instead of terminate instances. Okay. Yeah. So the name is terminated. Previous state is stopped. So previous state is running. Now it is stopping. Guys, understood? Huh?
Yeah, bro, one
So,
question I have.
mm,
Terminated కి స్టాప్ కి డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటి?
mm, good question. Very, very good question. Stop అంటే ఏంటి? It is stop. It will shut down the machine. Okay. Or VM or server or instance. Right? Stop means it will shut down the mission. Terminate is nothing but a decommission. So decommission. You know decommission? Delete. So delete permanently. Understood? So delete permanently or remove permanently. Understood?
Yes, yes.
Oracle virtual machine. Yeah. So this is nothing but a this machine is in shutdown state. Okay, power off. So termination is nothing but a remove, delete everything. Okay.
So from now console that instance removed.
Instance remove అయిపోతుంది చూడు.
టర్మినేటెడ్ ఉంది కదా, నెక్స్ట్ రిమూవ్ అయిపోతుందా?
Terminate state whenever you sign up and sign in. అదే sign out and sign
ఓకే.
in. So
ఇప్పుడు
this
అది
will not.
టర్మినేటెడ్ ఉంది కదా, దానిపైన మన చెక్ బాక్స్ క్లిక్ చేసి స్టార్ట్ అని చేయలేమా?
ఇంకా అది డిలీట్ అయిపోయింది కదా.
ఇన్స్టెంట్ స్టేట్లోకి వెళ్ళి యాక్షన్స్ లేవని
You see, it is not showing anything. Stop instance, start instance, reboot and so ఇది delete అయిపోయినట్టే ఇంకా. So we cannot retry, we cannot restore. Okay. Understood? Huh?
ఎస్ బ్రో యా
Mm, yeah. So now you understood the how to how to connect through AWS CLI. How to connect through AWS CLI. So right. Yeah. So I already discussed. Yeah. So what is the solution? The solution is Terraform, right? How you can so IAC. Every cloud provider having their own IAC tools. So but if you in your environment you are using multi-cloud, something like three clouds you are using, you need to learn each and every cloud. Some for example, AWS cloud formation templates, Azure ARM templates, resource manager templates, GCP something or something like right. You need to learn all these things. So it is difficult to learn all these things. Just you can use the if any is there any one tool to provide all the solutions. So that solution is called as a Terraform. Terraform is a IAC tool. Infra as a code tool. So infra as a code tool. I will tell you guys. What is that, guys? IAC tools. IAC tool, infra as code tool. So exploring the tool sets, there are various types of tools that can allow you to deploy infrastructure as code. So what are those tools? The tool tells Terraform, CloudFormation, EAT, Ansible, SaltStack, Chaffo, Puppet, and others. Okay. So configuration management versus infrastructure orchestration. What is that, guys? Configuration management versus infrastructure orchestration. So IAC is nothing but a infra as a code, infrastructure orchestration. Okay. So Terraform is the infrastructure orchestration tool. So Ansible, Chef, Puppet are the configuration management tools, which means that they are primarily designed to install and manage softwares on existing servers on existing servers. This will not create the servers. So this Ansible, Chef, Puppet are the configuration management tools. Which management tool, guys? Configuration management tools, which means that they are primarily designed to install and manage software on existing servers. So these are the configuration management. So configuration management means I want to install the Java Tomcat on 100 servers. So 100 servers. So we need to log into each and every server and we need to install install Java, something like install Apache, install HTTPD. So it will take 10 minutes or 15 minutes for every server. So we need to install on 100 servers. So 15 into 100, right? 1500 minutes, we need 1500 minutes to install those missions, right? I don't want to use that mission. I want to automate the process. The automation of the process is nothing but a configuration management tool. Configuration management tool. I will tell you guys briefly when we start the configuration management. Okay. So Terraform, CloudFormation are the infrastructure orchestration tools, which are basically means that they can provision the servers and infrastructure by themselves. Okay. So configuration management tools can do some degree of infrastructure provisioning, but the focus here is that some tools are going to better fit for the certain types of tasks. For example, so infrastructure, so better fit is Terraform Cloud Formation and ARM and so on, right? The configuration management tool do some degree of infrastructure provisioning, but the focus here is that some tools are going to better fit for the certain types of tasks, guys. So what is that? IAC infra as a code and configuration management tools both are friends because of after provisioning the servers, so we need to install Java Tomcat, right? So Ansible is the popular tool for configuration. right? So the Terraform. What is the guys? Terraform is for IAC, infra as a code to build the infra, orchestration, infrastructure orchestration. Okay. So the first server PF through the Terraform, create a new EC2 instance, and EC2 instance is running, will inform the Terraform, and Terraform will inform to Ansible, yeah, EC2 is running, then Ansible install and configure the application. Install and configure the application. Guys, understood? IAC and configuration management tools both are friends. Now you understood why these both are friends? Guys, understood?
Yeah.
Guys, speak out, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Terraform. So what Terraform supports multiple platforms, has hundreds of providers, simple configuration language, and faster learning curve. Easy integration with configuration management tools like Ansible, easily extensible with the help of plugins. What is that? So easily help up with the plugins. So what is the official website for the Terraform? Registry.terraform.io. What is that, guys? So registry.terraform.io. Who developed this Terraform? HashiCorp company. HashiCorp company created the Terraform. Okay. So this Terraform will supports which providers, right? So something like it supports the AWS, Azure, Google, Kubernetes, Alibaba, Oracle Cloud, and how many? So 5041 providers it will support the Terraform. Okay, Terraform supports the huge. As now you understood. So it will support the hundreds of providers. Yeah. So so for this course, so what for which provider we want to learn the Terraform? AWS. Click the AWS, right? So every cloud provider, the Terraform uh, developed the version to connect the AWS. So the version for the latest version is 5.995.0. So this is for a plugin to connect the AWS plugin to connect the AWS between Terraform and AWS. Like so lifecycle management of AWS resources including EC2, Lambda, EKS, ECS, VPC, S3, RDS, Dynamo, and more. This provider is maintained internally by the HashiCorp AWS provider team. Okay. So how we can launch the AWS instance through Terraform. So there is a oh, what is that? A Terraform. So use providers. So this is the Terraform 0.13 plus now the version 1 point something. Okay. So this is the Terraform version we can use. Required provider AWS. The version is this one. Provider, this is the provider. Okay. So this is the way to connect the Terraform. So what is the documentation? I want to launch the EC2 instance. How you can launch the EC2 instance? You can launch the EC2 instance by using the provider resources. So what are the provider resources? I will tell you. What is that, guys? Want to launch? Elastic Compute Cloud. In the Elastic Compute Cloud, you will see the EC2 underscore instance, AWS underscore EC2 underscore instance. Here you see, guys. So this is the AWS underscore EC2 underscore instance. Yeah. Here you see, guys. So what we need, so we need a resource, AWS EC2 instance. We need a AMI and instance type, guys. What we need? We need a AMI and a instance type. So while creating the EC2 instance, what we provided? We provided the AMI and instance type. Instance type. So how you can create the AWS instance through Terraform? So this is the documentation. So this we call it as a resource. I will tell you. Every resource is nothing but a service. Every service is nothing but a resource in Terraform. What is that? So AWS, every service is nothing but a resource. Okay. So understood? So Terraform supports multiple platforms. It will support Linux, so it will support Mac, it will support Windows, hundreds of providers. So simple configuration language and faster learning curve, easy integration with configuration management tool like Ansible, easily extensible with the help of plugins. So installing Terraform. So how to install the Terraform? Terraform installation is very simple. You have a single binary file, download it and use it. No need to install anything. Just download the binary file and use it. Okay. Supported platforms: Windows, Mac, Linux, FreeBSD, OpenBSD, Solaris, Steam. So Terraform works on multiple platforms. These include. So you can go to the downloads and then download the Terraform. So terming up the lab and create a new AWS account. Yeah, we have a AWS account. Begin with the code. So first EC2 instance with the Terraform. Guys, launching first EC2 instance via Terraform. So when you want to launch a resource in AWS, there are three important considerations. So when you want to launch a resource in AWS, there are three important considerations. One is how will you authenticate with the AWS? So which region the resources need to be launched? Which resources you want to launch? What is that? So how we will you authenticate with AWS? How we will you authenticate with AWS, guys? So what are the credentials we need to use to authenticate with the AWS?
Using IAM access keys and secret keys.
Very good. So I am access key and secret key. The same like as a AWS CLA, how we need access key secret key. The same like as we need access key secret key for connecting the AWS. Okay. So which region the resource need to be launched? Which region you want to launch? For example, you want to launch North Virginia, US East one. So which resource you want to launch? Which resource, guys? So that is EC2 or S3 or RDS or VPC or something like whatever the service, EKS, ECS, whatever the service you want to launch. So you can launch by using the Terraform. Okay, understood? So here, so the Terraform launch EC2 instance, no auth, no launch. If you don't have a credential secret key passkey, so it will no launch the EC2 AWS. Understood? Yeah. So how we can launch the EC2 instance? Just a provider. What is the provider, guys? So the extension for the that for the Terraform is .tf. .tf is nothing but a Terraform file. So provider AWS region. So provider, which provider you want to launch? For example, provider AWS, provider Azure, provider GCP, provider Oracle, OCI. So whatever the provider you want to provide you the providers. So region, US is to be to access key and secret key. You need to provide the access key and secret key and the resources. What are the resources? AWS underscore instance. So for you want to launch the EC2 instance, AWS underscore instance, my EC2 instance, AMI equal to, this is the AMI, instance type equal to, this is the instance type. Now you understood? So there are the commands to launch the EC2 instances. Okay. What is that, guys? Terraform. So Terraform is, what is the Terraform? Terraform is a,
Infrastructure as code tool.
yeah, it is, it is infra as code tool, which we can use this tool, and build the infra on any cloud provider. Any cloud provider. So right. So what is the extension? Who developed, guys? Who developed this? SE Corp developed the Terraform tool, and Terraform tool So what are the commands? So dot tf is the extension. What is this, guys? Extension? Sorry. Dot tf is the extension. So dot tf is the extension. What is tf? Tf is nothing but a Terraform file. What this is, guys? This is a Terraform file. And so the commands. So what are the commands? Just how to download this, guys? Just download download the binary file and use it, guys. Just download the binary file and use it. And if you want to run the Terraform command on anywhere, if you want to run the command Terraform command on anywhere, we need to set the environment variable. We need to set the environment variable, system environment variables. I will show you how to set it. Okay. So what are the commands to run this Terraform? The commands are Terraform init, Terraform apply, Terraform. Sorry, guys. Plan, Terraform apply, Terraform destroy. So init is nothing but a initialization. Initialization between your provider AWS to Terraform install mission. Okay, it will initialize this means. So I already show you, right, the Terraform. So what is that? So this Terraform. So it will install the Terraform and it will authenticate with the AWS. It will install the AWS a provider version and it will authenticate with the AWS. Okay. So Terraform plan is nothing but a blueprint, guys. What is that? Blueprint. So blueprint means something like so whenever you build the building, right? For example, 3 floor building or something like 2 floor building. So first you will based on our land. So you go to the architect and they will create a blueprint for how we can build our right? Building. The same like Terraform plan is nothing but so it will not apply on the AWS or whatever the cloud provider, but it will shows what we are trying to apply on. What we are trying to apply. Guys, understood? So what we are trying to apply on cloud provider. So which service or what the blueprint. So apply is nothing but apply the changes on requested cloud provider. Okay. So destroy. What is destroy, guys? Destroy is nothing but a terminate. So destroy is nothing but a termination of or deletion of your infra. Deletion of your infra. Guys, just 4 commands. What are those? Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform apply, and Terraform destroy. Guys, understood? Yeah. So what is the use of Terraform? What is the use of a Terraform? So what is the use of Terraform? Something like so these all are the environments, guys. So if you develop the code in the if you develop the code in the dev environment, this we call it as a stack, guys. What it is? A stack. So for example, this is a dev stack. Dev stack. If you create the code in the development stack, it will be reusable. You can reuse it in the QA environment and you can reuse it in the production environment. You can reuse it in the production environment. You guys understood? So reusability and it will be easy to maintain and one click it will build the infra. In one click it will destroy the infra. It will build the infra. It will destroy the infra. Understood? Yes, understood?
Yes. Bro.
Understood, right? Very good. So prod stack, dev stack, QA stack, and prod stack. So what are the files, guys? I will tell you. So how you can write the file? For example, main.tf, versions.tf, variables.tf, providers.tf, local or something. So this is our stack main.tf, versions.tf. So versions means so which version we are using in the provider and so provider is nothing but a so which provider we are using the information and version is nothing but a Terraform version. Main is nothing but a so whatever we are trying to launch. So whatever so we are trying to launch, right? Yeah. So this is in the main block. What is this? This is in the main block. The resource you see, right? A provider. Provider block will be specified in the provider. Just what are the resources you want to launch? You can provide it in the main.tf. So main.tf. The code should be, the stack should be main.tf, versions.tf, variables.tf, and providers.tf. Guys, understood? Guys, understood? Speak code, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Understood, right? Yeah. So tomorrow I will show you how to download and to say how to set the system variables, environment variables. Then we'll launch a AWS EC2 instance through Terraform. Okay?
బ్రో మెటీరియల్
Yes.
ఉందా ఇది ఇది కూడా
ఉంది ఉంది ఉంది
ఎక్కడ బ్రో అది
మెటీరియల్ ఇన్ ద సెన్స్
మన
ఇదే PDF.
ఏడబ్ల్యూఎస్ లైనక్స్ తీసుకున్నాం కదా సేమ్ అలా
అవును అవును దాంట్లో మెటీరియల్ అంటే ఏం లేదు. ఐ విల్ షో యూ హౌ టు ఇదే మెటీరియల్ ఇప్పుడు నేను చూపించాను కదా పీపీటీ.
ఓకే ఓకే
ఈ పీపీటీ ఉంది కదా
లేదా డాక్యుమెంట్ లేదా
వాళ్ళు లేదు పీడిఎఫ్ లో ఉంది.
ఇప్పుడు మీరు చూపించేది
సో
పీడిఎఫ్
ఇది అదే ఇది ఎలా
పీపీటీ
చేయొచ్చు అని
ఇప్పుడు మీరు చూపించేది పీపీటీ కదా
అవును పీపీటీయే. సో డాక్యుమెంటేషన్ అంటే సో ఇదే డాక్యుమెంటేషన్. సో ఇది ఉంది కదా సో AWS ఇన్స్టాన్స్ ద
ఓకే
Terraform registered Terraform Divo. So if you want to launch any instance, you can go on, you can click it, you can check it, and you can launch it.
ఓకే
Okay. So they are providing all the resources, whatever the resources you want to launch. They will provide a template. So you can use those templates and you can write it based on your requirement. Okay, now? Hello?
Bro, sorry, I was talking in mute. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So there is no class on tomorrow. So Monday we'll show you the Terraform things. Okay.
Good, bro.
సో
Thank you.
మాడ్యూల్స్ కి ఒక అతను ఉన్నాడు. షీ విల్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ద మాడ్యూల్స్. ఓకేనా? అండ్ ఐ విల్ షో యూ ద రియల్ టైమ్ కోడ్.
Modules అంటే మాడ్యూల్స్ అంటే
సో మాడ్యూల్స్ అంటే ఏంటి అంటే
టెరఫామ్ లో అదొక ఇదా?
ఆ టెంప్లెట్. ఇట్స్ ఏ
Like
టెంప్లెట్. మనం ఏఎంఏ
reusable
తీసుకుంటున్నాం
forms.
కదా.
మ్మ్, మ్మ్.
సో అట్లానే మాడ్యూల్స్ ఉంటది అనమాట. సో ఫర్
Okay.
ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక స్కెల్టన్. సో ఏంటిది? ప్రతి దానికి ఒక స్కెల్టన్ అని వాళ్ళు క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు. ఆ స్కెల్టన్ బేస్ చేసుకొని బేస్డ్ ఆన్ యువర్ స్కెల్టన్ యూ కెన్ క్రియేట్ యువర్ ఇన్ఫ్రా. దిస్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఏ మాడ్యూల్.
అంటే
ఓకే.
రెడీమేడ్ ఉంటుందా? రెడీమేడ్ మాడ్యూల్స్ ఉంటాయా ఏంటి?
మాడ్యూల్స్ మనం చేసుకోవచ్చు.
ఓకే, ఓకే.
ఓకేనా?
సరేండి.
సో విల్ డిస్కస్. సో రజనీ,
సార్
ఈరోజు హాలిడేనా?
వెళ్ళాలి వెళ్ళాలి ఆఫీస్.
వెళ్ళాలా? ఓకే, రేపు రా.